while photographing the way I do, but with my colors, this will change everything.
I got to see each frame, each position of its wing, and they are so beautiful that I have never seen before.
Being able to move quickly and working at my brain's pace and getting those shots in the moment. Having this camera allows you to go out and create the way you want to create.
Until you use it, you cannot even imagine what you have missed.
It's something I've never seen before in my entire life. It's something totally different.
Nikon Z6 III. Outperform.
Introducing ISO Color Edge. Precision is essential for any professional working with images. Whether you're an artist, a retoucher, or a visual effects specialist, you need to know that what you see at the start of a project is precisely what you'll get at the end. Color Edge monitors give consistent, reliable accuracy that guarantee no surprises within your color workflow. So what you see in real life is what you see on screen, and what you see on screen is what you see in real life. That's precisely why professionals all over the world trust ISO Color Edge for their image creation. ISO Color Edge. Discover living, breathing color.
I'm Mark Rosetto from the Professional Photography Business Network.
A vibrant community from all around the world who's here to supercharge your business growth.
This is not an expensive one-size-fits-all course.
PPBN is a network, an online educational platform with training and resources to suit everyone,
from those just starting out to the seasoned pros.
You can tailor your journey to suit your individual business needs and challenges, all at your own pace.
And there's new content added every week. But success is only part of the experience.
To us, community is super important, as we all know business can be lonely.
So join us today. PPBN is your unfair advantage. Let's do this.
Hello and welcome to the judging of the maternity category for the 2026 Australian Photographic Prize. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you enjoy seeing some wonderful maternity images being judged today. I'm here on behalf of Competition Director Daniel Bingham and our Director of Judging, Chris Anderson. Behind the scenes, we also have Nathan, our broadcast producer, and Mel Sinclair, our scribe. I'm Robin Campbell and I am your panel mentor for this session. First of all, I'd like to have a huge shout out to our sponsors. I would like to thank Nikon Australia, our major sponsor, who are awarding our overall Australian winner with Nikon product valued at up to $5,000. Thank you also to AZO for providing the Australian runner-up prize of a Color Edge CS 2731 valued at $2,000. And also a huge thanks goes out to Mark and the Professional Photographers Business Network. PPBN have generously provided a 12-month membership valued at $1,000 to our international winner. You'll actually get to see Mark on the judging panel tonight as well as an added bonus. Today we are judging the top 30 images in the maternity category. Images that explore the experience of genuine human pregnancy, celebrating the beauty, strength, and emotion of this significant life stage. The post-production rules for this category are open. Images may be taken in any setting, including studio or outdoor environments, and may include partners, family members, or existing children, providing the pregnancy remains the primary subject. Images featuring post-pregnancy subjects are not eligible for this category and should have been entered into the newborn or family category, depending on their primary subject matter. Birth photography may also have been better suited in the documentary category. Now, in this session, our expert panel of judges, and oh my gosh, we have a lineup tonight, I have to say, some of the best in the world, and they've all come together to judge this incredible category. Our expert panel of judges will be assessing each image, scoring them out of 100. And each image will also get a comment, and in some cases, a challenge, where we will discuss the image in more detail and then rescore. When the session is complete, we will move into closed-door judging, where the panel of judges will deliberate and determine the winner from the highest scoring images. Our winner, second and third place, for their Australian image, along with the international award-winning image, will be revealed at our live awards ceremony on August 13. Our judges will not even know who has won until then, so don't bother trying to contact them. In a moment, we're going to look through some images, and then we're going to introduce your judging panel. So if you're up for it, Mel Sinclair, let's walk through the top 30 images in maternity. All right, that is an incredible lineup of images that we're going to be judging tonight. Now, if you did see an image that had some blurring on it, don't worry. The judges will see the original image in its original form. Just for our live stream, we make sure that all images are appropriate for a broad range of people watching. So now I would like you to meet our judging panel. They're from Australia and all over the world. So I'm going to go in alphabetical order. Can I start with Amber? Hi, Amber. Do you want to say hi?
Hello, yes, thank you. My name's Amber Griffin and I am from Wellington in New Zealand. I'm a portrait and commercial photographer, and my connection to the maternity category is, funnily enough, in 2002, I was the inaugural international winner of the Australian Photographic Prize, and my highest scoring print that year was a self-portrait of me in being very pregnant. So that was, yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's an extraordinary memory. Thank you so much for sharing that. You know, even to this day, I didn't actually realize that. And I would have seen that print, handled that print. I would have been there, you know, patting you on the back from a distance. So congratulations. It's really lovely to hear the backstory and the connection as well. Amazing. Next we have Peru.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Amber. I didn't know that one as well. Amazing. And my name is Furuk Yavari. I'm from Melbourne, and I'm a full-time fine art portrait and fashion photographer. In Australia, I had my professional business for 13 years, and my work focused mostly on taking portrait of women, maternity, family, lots of corporate headshots to beauty and fashion. My myself into many photography competition and won award as well. When I'm entering, my focus is mostly on creativity, originality, connection, narrative behind the image, and style as well. So I'm super excited and looking forward to see your amazing work.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Faru. Next up, we have got Katrina.
Thanks, Robin. Hi, everyone. My name's Katrina Ferguson. I am based in Melbourne. I'm a mother of three myself, and I'm a qualified journalist, and I've been a professional photographer for 17 or 18 years now. Across that time, I've photographed a range of genres, certainly including maternity, birth, newborn, family, and then commercial work as well, and weddings, so a mixed bag of things. And I am a Pick Time ambassador, an Imagine ambassador, and very much looking forward to this category celebration of women and what our bodies can do. Bring it on.
Amazing. I love that. And I love that you're highlighting the actual celebration behind it as well, which is super important. Kelly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Brown. Previously an Australian resident that now lives in the UK and loving it. I've been around for a while. I've been photographing anything and everything for 22 years, but I do specialise in newborn and maternity photography. So my heart is very attached to this category, and I can't wait to see all of the beautiful work entered.
Amazing. Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, I can't believe you abandoned Australia. That's all right. You'll be back. Next up, we have got Lacey. Thanks, Lacey.
Hey, Robin. Thanks so much. My name is Lacey Barrett, and I live in Melbourne. I currently am shooting birth as a birth and documentarian. However, maternity and newborn is where I started, and it is where I began to fall in love with photography and documenting, particularly motherhood and the incredible changes our bodies go through as women, and being able to celebrate that by documenting that is absolutely incredible. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Amazing. We can certainly sense your passion for the genre. It's amazing. Thank you, Lacey. Next up, we have Mark. Hey, Mark.
Hey, my name's Mark Rosetto. I am the token boy of tonight's judging. So, hey, it takes two to tango. That's why we're here in the maternity category. I am a double master photographer. I used to own a photography studio base in Melbourne. We're photographing 500 families per year. 200 of them were maternity newborn. So as a category, love to photograph this, love to celebrate families from the very beginning. And I'm excited to be here to join you guys.
Thanks, Mark. There is definitely no tokenism here. Everyone on this judging panel has really learnt along the journey and has well and truly earned their position here. And Mark, I know how busy and big that studio was and how much maternity work you had done during that time. So don't worry, you've earned your stripes to be here for sure.
And sorry about my tardy background. I couldn't work out the background. So to everyone out there, yeah, it's all on me.
Glitch. That's all right. Well, we'll move past it. Naomi, welcome to the panel.
Hey everyone, I am so excited to be here tonight and to have the privilege of judging and working alongside these amazing judges and seeing all your beautiful work. My name is Naomi Ryder. I am a family photographer in Sydney, Australia, and I cover everything from families, weddings, maternity, newborns, and more of anything else really. Photographing maternity, I have to say, is actually an enormous honour because it's an absolute privilege to celebrate that very, very first connection that new parents have with their unborn child. So it's a true honour, and I'm really excited to see what we're going to be looking at tonight. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Naomi. Yeah, look, I've been a photographer for a long time, and I have to admit the last maternity shoot I did, she was actually in labour and went straight from that to the hospital and had the baby some hours later. So, yeah, a little bit high in intensity for me, but I admire all those photographers that have submitted their work tonight that we now get to judge. So, Mel, if we are ready, we can perhaps have our first image. We're going to start with Amber, Faru, Katrina, Kelly and Lacey on our panel.
Okay. This image is titled The Butterfly Effect.
Alrighty, so this image has scored a 76, highly commended, which is a great way to start the category. Are we all happy with that, or would we like, no, okay, Katrina. Katrina is in the silver category. So Katrina is going to challenge this score and she's going to now have a chat to the other judges about what she sees in this image. Thanks, Katrina.
Yeah, thanks, Robin. Look, I think this is a nice start. This is a well done image. I'm really appreciating the way that the sort of milky wash over this image is mirroring that sort of milky bath, that this subject is in. I think it's been styled beautifully. I'm not asking for silver with distinction or gold. We're in the silver range. I think it's strong and creative. I think it's been well thought out. Beautiful subject, beautiful soft gaze and expression. Yeah, let's have a talk about it.
Cool. Kelly, you are sort of in the lower end of the scoring range. What would you like to say?
Yeah, I am. I scored this a 74, so just outside the highly commended category for a couple of different reasons. But I just want to say, Kat, I do love that kind of milky feel to this. It's got a very ethereal sort of vibe to it, which I'm really, really enjoying. So I want to say well done to the photographer for creating that feeling within this image. However, a couple of things that have held me back from going into a higher scoring range. And number one, the orientation. I think instantly my head kind of rotated it tilted to the left there to kind of bring her more upright within the frame. So having a look at your composition and looking at the balance of the placement of the subject within that frame and just relaxing the crop a little bit there. It's just a bit tight in the top of the head and at the bottom of the image there. And I just can't get past that flower in the top right corner that is quite overexposed. So a little bit more control in terms of the exposure there. And this would have had a completely different impact on me. But I am listening because as I said, I really love that ethereal vibe to it.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Kelly. Lacey, you're heading up there towards where Katrina's sitting. What have you got to say?
Yeah, second that. Very beautiful image. It's definitely evoking this beautiful ethereal feel. I tend to agree with Kelly, particularly in that higher blown out area up in the upper right hand corner. I don't really have too much more to add, but I am definitely listening, Katrina, because I see exactly where the photographer was going with this. So
amazing. Thank you so much, Lacey. Katrina, have you got to write a reply?
I do, yeah. Thanks, ladies. It's great to hear everyone's perspective. Always is. Look, I don't disagree with what you've said at all, which is why I've placed it in silver. I think it demonstrates more than competent practice, well and truly, which is what a silver calls for. So, yeah, Kelly, I totally agree with the tilting head thing. I've also been doing that as well, but when I do that and I sit with it on that angle, it's very clear that it becomes quite awkward and you get that sort of the gravity effect. So it is a more flattering portrait in this particular orientation. So yeah, go with your heart, guys. I'm saying silver. Yeah, I think this is clearly worth 80. Come on up if you can.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Katrina. Judges, if you could please consider the debate and rescore. And we have a very solid, highly commended at 77. Well done to the photographer. And Katrina, thank you so much, because Australian Photographic Prize is not just about entering a competition. and then finding out what you got later. It's about the education that goes with it. And that was some incredible feedback for the photographer and anyone else working in that genre. So thank you so much. We'll go to our next image, please.
This image has no title.
Alrighty, so this image has scored a 77, highly commended. Are we all happy with that? And Lacey is going to challenge that. So Lacey is scoring somewhat higher in the silver range. So thank you, Lacey. Take it away.
Yeah, thanks. I think this is such a beautiful and soft image. And the photographer has done a really great job with lighting this image coming in from that left side. And that lighting kind of fades back into that background. We have really great separation here. And the lighting on her face is so beautiful and it's so illuminated. And I see that first along with her gorgeous belly. And so I think that the photographer has done a really great job in composition and giving us some light and dark sides, right? We've got the light on the left, the darker side. That can also kind of mimic the darker sides of pregnancy, the sickness, and the other things that we might be experiencing. And so I'd really love to see my judges come up into that silver range with me.
Thanks, Lacey. You love the storytelling input. That's really cool. Amber, what would you like to contribute?
Thanks, Lacey. I scored this image a 76, and I really feel that this image sits in the highly commended range. I do really appreciate the boho vibes of this image, and I think the lighting on the subject's face and belly is really beautiful. But there's quite a bright band on that background just down the bottom, and I feel that the photographer could have posed the subject just a little bit more elegantly, maybe with getting a little more negative space with those arms, just to really show off the body a bit more. Also, there is with the dried florals down the bottom. I just feel like they're a little bit awkwardly placed, and they kind of the two that are higher up, they're sort of being like faded into the background, and they just don't really feel very real. But overall, I think it's a lovely image with a lovely color palette. So
awesome. Thanks, Amber. Katrina, what would you like to add?
Just a couple of styling tips for the photographer. The petticoat under that skirt needs a good yanking. You can sort of see the folding and the double up underneath there. That could be very quickly and easily fixed. And I'm finding the little drawstring cord under the bust a bit distracting there. And also just be careful. There are some muddy footprints on the paper on the floor. So to my eye, this looks like it's been retouched a little bit in terms of, skin smoothing and those sorts of bits and bobs. So if you're going to do that, take it all the way and neaten the other elements that you can as well. I was on 76 and along with Amber, I'm currently pretty happy there, but always listening.
All right, Lacey, do you have anything you'd like to say as right reply?
Yeah, I actually didn't even catch the footprints. I was just so taken aback by this woman's beauty and how she is her pose is very natural, fitting in with the natural of the props that we have going on in the image. And so just all of the naturalness that is kind of going on in the image. I miss those things. So I'm just asking for a few more points to come up into that silver range. And yeah, I think we can get there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lacey. Judges, if you could please rescore. This image is a highly commended at 77. Well done to the photographer. And again, fantastic judging. There is so much attention to details. And I'll tell you what, for that one person that's sitting at home, Lacey, having a huge advocate on their side will make their evening. So well done to everybody. Next image, please.
Okay, this image is titled Future Form.
Alrighty, and we have our first silver distinction of the evening with a score of 85. Well done to the photographer. It's pretty impressive to just sort of romp it in straight away with a silver distinction. So that's very, very cool. We're going to have a comment from Kelly. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Robin. Yeah, I really enjoy this image. The impact is initially what really grabs you here, and then we've got this beautiful shape and form that the photographer has just paid so much attention to. And when we look at the category description for silver with distinction, highly refined and distinctive, this is the epitome of that description for this particular category. And it's playful, it's fun, it's got energy, it's got movement, and I think it really does grab us where, you know, we just sort of sit here and we're mesmerized by it. Not really a lot that could be done to kind of refine this, except for a little bit more control in terms of the brightness of the highlights around that back arm, and a little bit more control over the tonality throughout all of the skin tones there, from the bottom foot all the way up to the face. I know working with colored gels can be a little tricky at sometimes when working with a lot of bare skin, but that's something that we can refine and work on in post-production. So yeah, a couple of things that would have definitely taken this into gold, but as it sits, it's a really beautiful image and it's got lots of impact.
Amazing. Great feedback. Thank you so much, Kelly. Now, in this competition, we do rotate our judges. And so from the next print onwards, I'm going to be doing that fairly frequently. So at this stage, I'll say thank you, Amber. You may have a short break. And we welcome back Mark Rosetto. We'll go to our next image. Thank you.
Okay, this image has no title.
Okay, this image has scored a 74, which is 1 mark below our highly commended range. And I think it would be really great to hear from you. Katrina, are you happy to have a bit of a chat about this image?
Yeah, absolutely. This is this photographer is clearly, you know, their intention is absolutely in the right place. They've styled their subject, they've taken out some props, they've picked this beautiful location. Perhaps maybe reconsider your time of day. It looks like quite contrasty highlight lighting there, and also the subject's face itself isn't actually in focus, so pay attention to that. Shallow depth of field is wonderful, but you also want to make sure that you're keeping all the, you know, the really key points, typically being facial features, in focus as well.
Fantastic feedback. Thank you so much, Katrina. We'll go to our next image, please.
This image has no title.
Alrighty, this image has scored a 76, highly commended. Well done to the photographer. I'm going to call on someone to make a brief comment. Faru, thank you.
It's such a beautiful image. There is a subtle color palette into it. There is a motion in the moment face, and the use of like wet fabric to create such a beautiful shape around the belly is a clever idea. However, I feel like to elevate this image, the face and the skin is turned to be orangey, especially around the face. Could be play with the hue to bring down that orange, and also seems the lighting is more focused on the shoulder instead of the face. Perhaps could be control on that part to elevate the image.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that wonderful feedback. We're going to rotate judges. So Faru, thank you so much. And we're going to welcome Naomi to our panel. And we'll have a next image, please.
Okay, the title of this image is Preparing.
And this image has scored a 74. Kelly, yeah, some feedback would be lovely. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm really enjoying the way that the photographer has placed the subject in front of that mountain, and we're kind of mimicking the shape there in the background there. It's got a really kind of natural earthy feel to it, which is very, very enjoyable. Great eye contact with the camera. However, again, I feel like a different time of day would have created a much better result here in terms of the overall lighting and contrast of the image. And then when it comes to posing, just be careful of that little hand poking out underneath the belly there in the background. We can't see what it's connected to, and that thumb is just kind of sticking out there a little bit. So refine the placement of hands and body there, and you'll see a really big difference there. And then just when it comes to the background, just pay attention to your masking in Photoshop. We've got a couple of really kind of heavy lines there that are very visible to the eye. So a few things to refine, but definitely on the track in terms of heading towards creating something that's got a lot of impact, and using that mountain was really a great idea.
Brilliant. Thank you for the incredibly educational but also encouraging feedback, Kelly. That's delightful. And what you guys don't get to see at home is I can see all the judges and all their reactions, and throughout that there was a lot of nods. So your judging panel is very much in agreement with you. Next image, please.
Okay, this image is titled The Storm is Almost Over.
Okay, and this image has scored an 80 Silver Award. Well done to the photographer. And we have an elective challenge from Lacey. Lacey is on 85, which is in the next category, our Silver Distinction category. So take it away. Thanks, Lacey.
Yeah, thanks, Robin. This turned around and there was so much impact here. We have such a stunning portrait here. And it feels like a very classic portrait. We've got a beautiful color palette. I think the styling of this has been done really well. We have the thoughtful placement of the pearls on her fingers that are matching the pearls around her neck. There's a lot of balance going on here. I think this is really moving into having a lot of intention with everything that has been done with this image. And the skin tones are great. I really think that we can come up into that silver distinction range. Yeah, I'd love to hear what my other judges are thinking.
Amazing. Thanks, Lacey. Katrina, you're sort of down the other end of the scale.
I am. I'm currently on 78, and that's highly commended image, highly competent, well executed, clear intent, all of those things. What's holding me back a little bit, Lacey, is a couple of things being her gaze. It's not at camera and it's not at her belly. It's sort of off in a bit of a no man's land. So I'm just losing that connection to anything in that regard. I certainly appreciate the styling and the tone, the colour palette of this image overall. That's all highly complimentary, totally agree. I am getting pulled a bit to the bandeau. It's quite bright there, particularly on that white square. And I feel like it's definitely, it's crooked. It's just off to the right a little. So, and quite a lot of skin smoothing that I'm reading anyway. So, yeah, I'm listening. I mean, highly commended. I probably won't jump up to silver with distinction, but I'm certainly listening for silver.
Thanks, Katrina. Lacey, you do have some solid support there with Mark. Mark, what have you got to say?
Thank you. Yes. It's the gaze. Instantly, I was like, ugh, she's not looking. She's not looking down. It's in between. But then the title, the storm is almost over, and it's the tenacity of it. It is the focus. I am ready. I am got this. I'm embracing this child, the tribal gear, and clearly her a nationality. I don't know how to say it politically correct. The nationality behind it. It's just that it's just that I'm woman, hear me roar kind of scenario, and that stare is a stare of tenacity. She's like fierce and she's ready to go. So initially, Katrina, I was all you. I was like, oh, she's not doing either, but the title and then the story got me.
Amazing. Thank you, Mark. And we appreciate your tenacious enthusiasm on the judging panel too. Lacey, write a reply.
Yeah, so I look, I think that what we're working with here is a really, really solid portrait. I'm here with Mark as well with the gaze. The gaze didn't really bother me. Because there is that sort of tension with coming up right here to the end. You're not here, you're not there. And so that just really kind of solidified that silver and into that silver distinction for me. And yeah, I'd love to see you guys come up.
Thanks, Lacey. If everyone could please rescore. And you have certainly moved the judges. Well done. It's now a solid silver at 82. Well done to the photographer. And every point does count in this competition. So we do look at the top 5 when we're deciding our overall photographer of the year. So very, very important. We're going to do a quick judge change. So thank you so much, Katrina. And we're going to bring back Amber. And we'll go to our next image. Thanks, Mel.
This image has no title.
And this image has scored a 73. Yeah, I'd love a comment from you, Lacey. Thank you so much.
Yeah, look, I'm really enjoying the composition on this. We have Mum, who is on the left side and perfectly placed next to that mountain in the background. The height is there. And so we have this sort of matching peak, peaking in pregnancy and peaking in nature. I think what could really elevate this image for the artist is bringing down some of those highlights, particularly shooting at that higher noon. One of the great things is, we can check on a polarizer and try and bring down some of that, but you can also do that in post as well. So a really, really great job by the photographer.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that lovely feedback. And for those listening at home, just so you're aware, You can sometimes challenge an image when the judge is in the next scoring range. So when that happens, judges have the opportunity to challenge. And sometimes on images, the points are so close in score that everyone's in agreement. So that was the case in this image. So there was no ability to challenge, but the judges all seem to be fairly coherent in their decision. So next image, please.
This image has no title.
Thank you, judges. This image has scored 79, highly commended. Kelly, you'd like to give some feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. This has got so much impact. I scored this image a 78 for that reason. I would have gone much higher had we kind of paid attention to a few other little details that are very, easy to fix at the time of the session. Number one, just the placement of that front arm, bringing that elbow back a little bit so we can see all of that hand and creating a little bit more of a gap there between the arm and the body would definitely refine the shape of this, and because that's what we're kind of going for, that that beautiful shape throughout the composition here. The other thing is just being careful to not eliminate all of the shadows within this image. We've gone for a very high contrast black and white image. However, it does make her look like she's floating there with nothing kind of grounding her at the bottom of this frame. And then when it comes to the placement and the positioning of her head there, just tilting that chin up a little bit and turning her profile a little bit more away from the camera, so we're not seeing so much of that eye in the background there. So a couple of things to kind of think about in terms of the posing and the positioning here, but also when it comes to post-production, just be careful of the tone, the skin softening in terms of how it's going to affect the tone throughout the actual skin. We've got some sort of reds coming up there on that arm that's in the background, that isn't consistent throughout the rest of the woman's body that we can see. So yeah, a few things to consider, but the impact here really has grabbed us, and I'm really enjoying the overall form throughout the composition here.
Brilliant feedback. Thank you so much, Kelly. And for everyone listening online, it really is those tiny little bits of refinement that make the difference between your highly commendeds and your silvers. And I think we're all lucky to have such an incredible panel of judges here who can tell us what those refinements are. So thank you so much, Kelly. I'm going to do a quick judge change. So Kelly, you can have a short break and we're going to welcome back Faru. And we'll go to our next image. Thank you so much, Mel.
Okay, the title of this image is Held Before Hello.
Alrighty, so this image has scored an 81 silver, and we have a challenge from Mark. Thank you so much, Mark. Mark is in the silver distinction range, so you can open our discussion. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, I've scored this one an 86 silver distinction. There's so much about this that is dreamy that we just absolutely love. Start off with the color palette that the photographer's chosen. Those beautiful cream tones and the red hair with the red lips really just set the scene beautifully. Also, the choice that the photographer has done to not just photograph and put it in an oval, they've gone above and beyond to create this border kind of feeling, and having those little fleur-de-lis on the side and but not on the background of the oval itself. There's just enough control. There's a lot of control here. There's a control with the framing, there's a control with the background, there's a control with the dress and the tone. It's soft in all the right places, and it just draws you into just seeing her eyes, her lips, her hands, her belly, and everything just kind of draws you into the center. Every time you look away, you kept getting drawn back into that center. So from a execution point of view, I think they've done exceptionally well, and hence why the silver distinction. I'd love my fellow judges to let's have a discussion about this one.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mark. Faru, you're sort of at the other end of the scale.
Yeah, Mark, thank you so much for explaining that. I feel like a bit shy here. I'm at the range in pre-award. Yeah, you're right. There's a serene feeling to this image. The color palette is beautiful. Great choice of style and outfit to match the color palette and feeling. However, when I zoom in, I feel like the face of the subject it wasn't really sharp. It was a bit soft, and adding the grain and a bit of sharpness. Try to fix the fault of is a bit soft as well, so that's really let me down. And also there is some like a post-production fault happen around the hair. It's like trying to match the subject with the choice of the background, and it's just not blending. It's not really good, especially in the left side when the hair is just flowing to the air. And also I think like the overall treatment, post-production overall treatment to the dress and to the skin and the brightness, all is just not really fits in the silver with distinction. Especially in this category, we are looking for originality. The emotion is there, I'm really agree with that side, but the post-production, the overall control and originality is not there. But I'm willing to come up to the highly commended.
Thanks, Faru. Amber, you're in support of Mark. You're getting up there.
Oh, yes, I am. Well, I scored this image in 83, a solid silver, and I think I was the second highest scorer. So I'm definitely in support of this image. There's just a couple of things that I really struggled with. I actually don't mind the softness in those places for real. I feel like it kind of adds to the dreamy, tranquil, ethereal nature of this beautiful portrait. But I really struggle with the way that the hand is holding her breast. I just think it could be a lot more elegant if it was maybe slightly lower. And then the little gap in the dress at the bottom, it keeps drawing my eye down to that little gap where the skin of her leg is poking out. So Mark, if you could explain those things to me a little bit more, maybe I could come up to distinction with you.
Yeah, look, Mark, I reckon you've got this, mate. You've
Come
got a bit
on.
of passion. Close the deal.
Come on, we got this. Faru, I see you, I hear you, but at the same time, yeah, I don't agree. It's one of those things that, you know, like in the context of this image, in the context of the image, if it was a different image, it's a different story. But in the context of this image, that dreamy, flowy, what Amber was saying, the whispery feel, like it kind of all just flows out. If things were too sharp, especially it's a consistent whispery. It's the dress, it's the hair, it goes all the way through the image. So it's not like a specific, like, oh, they've really just missed this part of it. It's all consistently flowy and dreamy. And I think the eyes are sharp. I think it's one of those treatments that they've put on the images that if it's too crisp, you're going to have this jarring effect where it's like you've got this dreamy feel and then it's like super sharp. So in the way that it's been constructed, I think it's extremely it's done on purpose, deliberately. In terms of the hand placement, Amber, yeah, look, a little bit of a different position might have softened that a little bit more. But the leg, I need the leg. I need the leg in it to get some shape. Otherwise, it's just going to be head, arms, belly, dress. So just getting that little bit of curvature in the leg. It's not like she's straight leg. It's done deliberately on purpose. So I'm all in at 86. Just looking for those few extra points for this photographer would be great.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mark. And you know what? Every point does count. So thank you for your passionate debate. Please rescore. And a few more points we have. We have a solid silver at 83. Well done to the photographer. Great job, panel. It's really great to see a beautiful range of different opinions as well. Next image. Thanks, Mel.
Okay, the title of this image, In the Quiet Before Hello, Love Holds.
Thanks, Amber. Okay, we have got a solid silver at 83. And we have got Faru, who has chosen to electively challenge this image. She is in the next category, so she is in the silver distinction. You're not on your own there, Faru. Amber's got a little bit of a shock on look on her face at the moment. So you're not on your own. So we're going to take your challenge and go for it.
Thank you so much, Amber. I was quicker. It's such a beautiful image. It has so much movement, protection, support, connection, and emotion to it, and that's what I gave it silver with distinction. The lighting is very well thought and handled. The shape of the hands is bring your eyes to the belly and it goes up. I felt like there is a repetition of hand happen at the top. That what makes me hold back from gold, to be honest. But it's still, I was taking it, it creates support and connection as well. And it's a degree of difficulty here to hold from the back in such a graceful way. Yeah, I feel like there is so much we can talk about it and we can appreciate from photographer.
Amazing. Thanks, Faru. Lacey, not so sure?
Yeah, there were a couple of things that were kind of holding me out of that higher scoring range. And one of them was the crop at the top. I either want to see a little bit of mouth or nothing at all. So for me, I was kind of hoping it would have either been cropped further down or cropped just, a little teeny bit further up. And there is so much symmetry going on, creating all of these beautiful shapes. That Mum's thumb being stuck up versus everything else being perfectly matched was a bit distracting, and I just I just wanted to keep looking at the thumb instead of her beautiful belly, and how these arms are wrapping around them and bringing this beautiful shape there. But I do really want to come up, so I am listening.
Thanks, Lacey. All right, Amber, you are up there in the lofty silver distinctions as well. What would you like to add?
Yes, I was actually the highest scorer on this image and I love it. And I'm really sorry. I thought that I hit challenge, but I actually hit comment. So that was because that was the shocked look on my face. Anyway, I think this is absolutely beautiful. And I originally scored this in 88, but now I've got the opportunity to go higher. The longer that I look at it, the more refined it is. I think it's the compositional balance that's in this image is so clever. It would be a really difficult image to pose with the person at the back, and I actually think that the inclusion of the chin at the top, if you take it away, I don't know. I don't like the crop cutting through her neck. And I think that the curve of the bottom of her face there echoes the curves, of the breasts and the curves of her belly. And I actually think it's a really, really well cropped image. This is the kind of maternity portrait that you would really happily print and have on your wall. because it's such a beautiful piece of fine art. So I think this is, I'm really glad we're talking about it, and I think that it deserves absolutely to be in silver distinction at least.
Amazing. Thank you, Amber. All right, Faru, bring it home.
I think Amber said it just enhance everything I wanted to say in the most beautiful way. And just one thing I wanted to mention, I'm really in the side with anger about the cropping, because if there was leaves, there definitely was the element of distraction. It was perhaps it would be too dark, too beautiful. You know, we put something to it. A bit the finger of the subjects holding the breast. This is show the difference between them. And if we want to be so refined, so picky of every single detail, we definitely was sitting all in gold. Yeah. So I think like silver with distinction is definitely deserved for this image. And yeah, let's bring it up.
Beautiful. Judges, if you could please take on the debate and rescore. And we now have an 86 silver with distinction. Congratulations to the photographer. Very exciting. Excellent. So I think it might be time for a judge change. Katrina, we will welcome you back, and Lexi, you can have a break. Lovely. We'll go to our next image. Thanks, Mel.
Okay, this image is titled Legacy of Women.
Alrighty, our judges are very close in their scoring ranges, and we have a silver distinction at 86. Well done to the photographer. That's very consistent scoring from the judges. Amber, yep, if you'd like to make a quick comment, that'd be great.
Yeah, wow, what a captivating portrait. I really love the narrative aspect of this portrait, and just the storytelling with all of the different arms and the sort of community that's wrapping around this woman. I think in order to improve this portrait, you could have introduced just a little bit more shape with the lighting. It feels a little bit flat on the subject's face. And also just kind of really work to bring maybe a bit more emotion out in your subject's eyes. It feels almost sort of fashiony with the way that it's been constructed, but it's a very cleverly put together image. Well done.
Oh, thanks, Amber. And I think we'll continue this celebration of the silver distinction. Mark, what have you got to add? Just a comment, thanks.
Yeah, just a quick one. I really enjoyed how the photographer uses the different hands, but the different ages of the hands as well. That you've got the legacy of the women, you've got the young person up the top with the crown, and especially the right on the right hand is the older lady. Very clever.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for highlighting that narrative within the image. It really is a core piece of what this is all about. Thank you so much. Next image, thanks.
Okay, this image has no title.
Alrighty, so this image has scored a 79, highly commended. And if we're all happy with that, Faru, you'd like to challenge? Yep, absolutely. So Faru is the next category. She has given it a silver at 82. So absolutely, go for it, Faru.
Yeah, I wanted to challenge this one. I feel like there's another fellow judges are sitting the same in silver as well. And especially it's 79, we need just 1 point. So I'm fighting for the 1 point. It's a beautiful image. The lighting is very well taught. It's really hard to get a beautiful tone in the dark skin tone. And I think photographer managed to bring it out and capture it very well. The color palette is divine. It's the olive background, the tone of the skin, the blue. I feel like if the blue was more subtle, more muted, or there was another element of blue, definitely I was going higher. But still, I feel like the choice of color is something that we still for this image we can recover, we can consider as a good choice. The smile, the emotion, the joy, the pose, everything is something that I feel like this image sitting in silver.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Furu. Katrina, you're in the highly commended range.
I am, Robin. I was on 77. Yes, this is a beautiful photograph. It's competent. It's generally well executed. I did have a bit of trouble with the colour choice, bit of dissonance there. Like they've got this sort of punchy blue and then a bit of an olive green in the background. So the harmony there doesn't quite, it's not there. And the lighting for me, particularly on the hand, it's quite hot there. We've lost all the detail in the ring. And there's also a bit of like haloing going on the left side of her cheek. So a few sort of technical details and styling choices that have brought this down for me. I think it would be much more successful in black and white. But it is a nice portrait. I mean, highly commended. I'm happy there, but listening.
Fantastic. Now we have another photographer who is in the lofty silver ranges as well. They haven't pressed the comment button though, so I'm just hoping they're okay to comment. Naomi, got a quick comment? Thank you so much. Take it away. Thanks, Naomi.
Yeah, look, when this first came up, I actually was so drawn to just there's just this strength and this serenity in the pose and beautiful treatment of the skin tones, lighting. Everything is so beautifully controlled. What did actually, I would love to see a little bit more storytelling, something. Furu's comment about the blue, I think seeing the blue somewhere else that maybe connects that story and brings that together a little bit more would definitely have taken it a little bit higher. I am in the silver range, and I think because just rewarding the posing, the post-production treatment and work is actually beautiful. And I do think that this image is definitely deserving of sitting in the silver range.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Naomi. All right, Furu, you're right to reply.
Thank you so much, Naomi. And I am hearing you guys. Yeah, Katrina, I'm really in that side with halo. There is some, minor fault of haloing, especially in the left side. I can see it. I recognize it in the very first as well. And the blue color by itself is just questioning. And I came with this idea of Tiffany blue for the diamond girl because she loves diamond. Look at the ring, and that's the blue color she wants. I don't have, the first I said that if it was muted, I would definitely be higher. About the shiny of hand, I saw it, I can see it all over body because the darker skin people, they have to add some shine, especially they use the oil or really heavy moisturizer to the skin not turn into gray, because if it's getting dry, it's really happen to your photographer could receive the gray skin. So I think like the shine happened because of the oil using the body. But with all of that, I gave it silver because it's the lighting it's a Rembrandt lighting, and I really appreciate photographer to get a Rembrandt lighting because we can have that signs of Rembrandt in the left side. The connection between mother and the belly is there, the pose is beautiful, the choice of dress is minimal, is nothing too much. So all of that, I feel like when we're reading the silver is a strong and creative image, I can see it is a strong in all way. So I encourage you to join me if you can.
Thanks, Faru. We're currently 1 point off silver award. Judges, if you could please rescore. And an excellent debate. It remains at 79, highly commended, but lots of wonderful education there. Thank you so much. We're going to do a quick judge change. So thank you so much, Mark, and we're going to welcome back Kelly, and we'll go to our next image. Thanks, Mel.
This image has no title.
This image has scored a 75. All our judges are very close in their scoring ranges. I'd love a comment. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Yeah, I'm right on 75. So when we think about highly commended, I don't want the photographer to think that that's a bad score, because this is highly competent. This is what our clients expect when they hire us. So this is an incredible level in terms of that standard professional practice. So well done. I love the black and white conversion here and the placement of the hands here to create that beautiful kind of little heart shape. However, that crop is really, really tight. So you're either going to go tighter on the hands, or you're going to pull back a little bit more so that it's not cutting through some of the areas of concern for me, which are the top of that hip closest to the camera in the bottom right corner, and just at the top of the image there. And when we just need to play a little bit more with the intensity and the direction of that light there, so that we can create a little bit more form through those darker tones, especially in the underwear on her. It's just really flat and black, and we're not really seeing any shape there in terms of the form of her body. So great idea. Just a few things to consider when it comes to composition and lighting.
Wow, brilliant feedback. Thank you so much, Kelly. And entrants may often hear words such as form and lighting, and we heard Rembrandt lighting previously. And photography is so parallel to the art world in so many different ways. And using light, and as Kelly just said, playing with light, super important to creating that next level of images. So well done. Great feedback. Next image. Thanks, Mel.
Okay, the title of this image, She Carries Oceans.
Alrighty, thank you, judges. We have a 77, highly commended. And if we're all happy with that, no, we have an elective challenge from Naomi. So Naomi is our highest scoring judge. She is currently on 83. Okay, Naomi, take it away.
Okay. This image has such striking storytelling. I think that there's actually this wonderful connection with the story with this mum-to-be who, this actually reminds me of, perhaps this, maybe I'm revealing my age here, but reminds me of one of the very, very original Disney scenes in Mickey Mouse, where Mickey is conducting the sea like he's conducting an orchestra, and he's so much power. And I love that idea that this mum-to-be is, it says, the title of this is She Carries Oceans, and she's commanding the sea. She's full of power. She's full of the promise of the next phase of her life, where she's about to bring in a new little human into the world. And here she is feeling like she's standing on top of the world. And I think the photographer really, really needs to be rewarded for that storytelling. There's beautiful lighting, there's beautiful colours, there's a softness in it. And I'm only asking for silver actually, but I think this really deserves to come up a little bit.
Amazing. Thanks, Naomi. Katrina, you're not quite so sure?
I'm in the pre-award range currently. I'm on 73. I absolutely agree that this has potential, 100%. So really want to encourage the photographer. Like, you are well and truly on the right track. What is pulling this image down into the pre-award range for me is that it's not in focus, or I'm not, to my eye, it is not in focus. And I am enjoying the title quite a lot, but I feel like she's sort of being swallowed a bit by this scene. That, and also some of the posing issues in terms of the foot. If you can get your subject to come up onto their toe for a nicer shape there, and a little bit of elevation, and then also the dead hand in the front. There's no connection with her body, her baby. It's just hanging there dead, which in photography typically we're really trying to eliminate that whole dead arm, dead hand situation. I'm listening, but I do think there are some things pulling it down.
Naomi, you've also got some support from Amber. Amber's also in the silver range.
Yeah, I'm definitely in support of this image being awarded as silver. I don't know that it's out of focus. I feel like it's just a general file quality, and when we're looking at it at 100%, it does, the whole file kind of falls apart a tiny bit like that. I don't think it's out of focus. I really love the way that the subject is posed in this image, because I know that it's not a studio shot. It's a really kind of authentic image where I just feel like she has posed herself, and I feel like she's really feeling the power that you feel when you're at that stage of pregnancy. She seems so beautifully integrated into the landscape. Like her long dark hair, the shape of that is echoed quite beautifully by the layers of different rocks going through here. But I think the overall standout of this image for me is the color palette, and it's the way that the warm tones of her, like the peachy warm tones of her skin going through to that scarf, is echoed in the sky, even in some of the little details in the foreground. And then it's all kind of brought together with the blues. It's just, I think the more I look at it, the more compositionally coherent it is. I'm a solid silver, and happy to go a little bit higher actually.
Thanks, Amber. Naomi, you're right to reply.
When I can find the mute button. Yeah, look, Katrina, I could have actually gone higher because I did feel that perhaps that the posing could have been lifted a little more. I'm sure standing on that rock is probably not particularly comfortable either, so perhaps for that for a little bit. But technically, there's beautiful control in the highlights and the shadows, and as Amber mentioned, the color palette is just so refined and smooth throughout the whole image that I think that really lifts that sense of almost like it just lifts that little bit of suspense and carries that story that here's this beautiful, strong woman, and she's going into the next phase of her life, and she's feeling amazing, and she's ready to go. So we're only asking for silver, but I think we can get there.
Thanks, Naomi. We're not far off. Judges, if you could please rescore. And this new image now scores an 80 silver award. Well done to the photographer. And I really appreciate everyone's opinion here. Absolutely gorgeous image. All right, we're actually going to go to a 4-minute break so we can check out our sponsors and everyone can just have a moment if they need a bathroom break. We'll see you soon. Thanks.
Wow, photographing the way I do, but with my colors, this will change everything.
I got to see each frame, each position of its wing, and they're so beautiful that I have never seen before.
Being able to move quickly and working at my brain's pace and getting those shots in the moment. Having this camera allows you to go out and create the way you want to create.
Until you use it, you cannot even imagine what you have missed.
It's something I've never seen before in my entire life. It's something totally different.
Nikon Z6 III. Outperform.
Introducing ISO Color Edge. Precision is essential for any professional working with images. Whether you're an artist, a retoucher, or a visual effects specialist, you need to know that what you see at the start of a project is precisely what you'll get at the end. Color Edge monitors give consistent, reliable accuracy that guarantee no surprises within your color workflow. So what you see in real life is what you see on screen, and what you see on screen is what you see in real life. That's precisely why professionals all over the world trust ISO Color Edge for their image creation. ISO Color Edge. Discover living, breathing color.
I'm Mark Rizzetto from the Professional Photography Business Network.
A vibrant community from all around the world who's here to supercharge your business growth.
This is not an expensive one-size-fits-all course.
The PPBN is a network,
An online educational platform with training and resources to suit everyone.
from those just starting out to the seasoned pros.
You can tailor your journey to suit your individual business needs and challenges, all at your own pace.
And there's new content added every week. But success is only part of the experience.
To us, community is super important, as we all know business can be lonely.
So join us today. PPBN is your unfair advantage. Let's do this.
And welcome back to the second half of our maternity category. So we've had a really good run so far, lots of awards and lots of incredible feedback. So if you've missed any of the broadcast, it'll be on YouTube. Go back, check it out, take the feedback on board and learn from the world experts we have with us tonight. With that, we're going to go to our first image. Thank you, Mel.
The title of this image is Safekeeping.
And this image has scored a 75, highly commended. Our judges are very, very close in their scoring ranges. And I'd love a comment from one of them, please, if you don't mind. Katrina, thank you.
Yeah, this is a lovely portrait and a believable expression, which is always a big plus for me. Just be mindful of the light on the face there. It's sort of quite splodgy on the nose and under the eye there. But also have a look at this image in perhaps an oval crop. It works beautifully in black and white, but given the natural curvature that's happening there with the arm and the belly in an oval crop, this would bring it up even higher again.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Katrina. We'll go to our next image, please.
This image has no title.
And this image has scored a 72, which is in the pre-award range. And I would love a comment. Kelly, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do you know, I'm really enjoying the movement here. I scored this right on 72. It is pre-award standard. However, it's got a lot of potential. With captures like this, when we're trying to sort of get that movement and engagement and interaction between a couple, we really need to kind of look either a couple of frames before or a couple of frames after. So timing is everything here. And placement as well. You either need to move slightly to your left so that they're in the center of that mountain and it's not cutting through his body shape so that it frames them beautifully, or you could move slightly to the right or position them a little better. So we've got to look not just at the middle ground of where we're capturing, but we've got to look at the foreground and the background as well to kind of help bring that composition together. So timing's everything, and have a look at that composition next time.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Kelly. We're going to do a quick judge change. Thanks, Naomi. You can have a little break and we will welcome back Lacey. We'll go to our next image, please, Mel.
The title of this image, Her Golden Web Enrobing Her.
And this image has scored a 74. Very, very close scoring ranges. Thanks, Fru. A comment would be lovely.
Yeah, this image has such a beautiful color palette, subtle and very mesmerizing. I think like the overall texture of, I feel like it might be ocean through the image add to the story, but please watch out, there is some like a distraction happen, some brightness happen around the beautiful subject and create some muddy color as well. It's a great concept. Please try again and again to achieve it in a very best way.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your feedback. We'll go to our next image, please.
Okay, this image is titled Quietly Becoming.
This image has scored a 75, a highly commended. Would someone like to comment? Katrina, that'd be lovely. Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah, this is a pleasing little image, and I would like to congratulate the photographer on something a bit different. I'm really liking that the light shape, the light and the shade. For me, what didn't work so well was the sort of joyous expression paired with this sort of dark, gloomy lighting. And I love both things, but you just have a think about how they go together and what are you trying to communicate with your image. But certainly, yeah, lovely expression, again, believable, and keep going. This is really nice.
Lovely feedback. Thank you so much. Lacey, did you have a quick comment you wanted to add?
Yeah, I'll just add very quickly to that. I think part of that dissonance that Katrina is talking about is the coloring. We've got some different coloring up top and on bottom. Being able to pull that hue saturation and choosing a color, go with that really fun moody color up top and just put it all over, or making it all that beautiful creamy color would really, I think, elevate this.
Beautiful specific feedback. Thank you so much. We're going to do a quick judge change. So we welcome back Mark. Thank you, Mark. And thanks, Amber. You can have a little break. Beautiful. We'll go to our next image. Thanks, Mel.
Okay, this image is titled In This Moment.
Kelly? Beautiful. Thanks so much, judges. And we have a 76, highly commended. Very consistent scoring. And Kelly, you'd like to make a comment. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the black and white toning in this image. You know, I think there's a lot of depth here in terms of that. A couple of things to consider when we're posing a subject with an animal of this size is to make sure that there is a little bit of separation there, just with them in the middle of this frame. And also just the turning and positioning of her head. So getting her to lift that chin just up a little bit more to make it a bit more flattering, and then just bringing back a little bit of that sharpness. I know we've got that beautiful softness in the background, but as we come to the foreground, the contrast and the over sharpening around her gown and her hair there is just a little bit distracting from that expression. And then when we come down to the sort of legs of the horse there's some, you know, haloing. So be careful when you are retouching to kind of avoid some of those issues. But yeah, lovely portrait, and I think it sits really well in that highly commended range.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Kelly. We'll go to our next image.
Okay, this image has no title.
And this image has scored a 74, which is sitting just below the award range, right on that edge. Lacey, you had some feedback?
Yeah, we've got some really beautiful connection going on here between mom and dad. One thing that this photographer could do is even just shift this couple just a teeny bit more towards that light. Will kind of be able to mitigate some of that harsh sun and some of the shadows coming in on dad's white shirt, and bringing down some of those highlights in those whites will help bring that up too.
Amazing. That's great feedback. Thank you. We're going to do a quick judge shift. Thank you, Faru. You can have a little break, and we will welcome back Naomi. We'll go to our next image. Thanks, Mel.
Okay, this image is titled Between Worlds.
Oh. And we have almost unanimous scores here. It has come through as a highly commended at 75. Well done to the photographer. Our judges are incredibly close in their scoring. We've got a 75, 75, 76, 76, and 74. So amazing. Kelly, you would like to comment?
Yeah, I scored this 75 right on the average. And I think that it fits really well within that highly commended scoring range. A couple of things that would really help elevate this is just refining that pose a little bit more. So adjusting the feet, the positioning of those, because we've got this really strong line, this diagonal line from the form of the body. They're leading us through the frame. It takes us to the feet, and they just look a little awkward there. So, you know, repositioning those and making them a little bit more elegant would definitely help here. And then just a slight rotation there. So she's slightly more rotated. So you're going from that bottom left to that top right corner. And then just be careful of some of those darker tones. We really want to see, you know, a little bit more detail there, and I think that would really help benefit this. So yeah, but you know, a great play with location and using composition here to create impact. It's got so much potential. Keep experimenting, keep exploring, and yeah, really enjoyed this.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We're going to do another quick judge change. So we're going to welcome back Amber and Katrina. You can have a little break. And we'll go to our next image. Thanks.
This image has no title.
So just so everyone at home is aware, you'll notice that what you're seeing in this entry is that it has been modified. So sometimes we may modify an entry so that it's suitable for public display, but it's only a portion of the image. So for these particular images, the audience sees the modified version. However, the judges always see the original unmodified entry, and that is what they're judging today. So rest assured, if you're the photographer and you're watching from home, it's all good. Your image is as you submitted it. And this image has scored a 77, highly commended, and we have a challenge. All right, Lacey, you are in the Silver Award category. Take it away.
Yeah, so we have such a cinematic feel going on here, and I think that there's been, I think that the photographer has had a lot of control in this. We have those deep blue in the shadows. We have the oranges in those highlights. It's very consistent throughout. I think this is really creative. I think it's been handled really well. And I'd really love to see this come up. We're just a few points away.
Amber, you're sort of at the other end of the scale. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I gave this a 73, and I'm definitely listening. It definitely did have initial impact for me, this image, and I think that the gels have lit the front of the subject's body really well. But I feel like especially the blue light is very unflattering on the subject's face, and I just don't know that I could come up to silver. Maybe I think quite comfortable with it and highly commended.
Naomi, you're showing some support there with your score.
Yeah, look, the color and the control with the lighting with this is really, really beautiful. It's a lovely celebration of a beautiful maternity image celebrating everything that this mum is about to experience. I'm totally there with Amber in agreement. It's like the thing that held me back going into silver was the intensity of the blue on her face, and if that orange glow from the orange gel had been included in highlighting her face as well, I actually think that would have definitely lifted it up into silver for me.
Beautiful. Kelly, you also have a quick comment?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I did hit the comment button early on in this. And a lot of what I was going to say has already been said, so I won't repeat it. But when it comes to that face, which is what we have been talking about here and discussing, just bringing that hand back a little bit more towards the top of the head so it's not so far behind would create more shape around the face and perhaps let a little bit more of that orange light come through to light the face so that you've got that consistent, beautiful, warm glow going from the bottom of the leg all the way up through the belly and to the face. That's what we're kind of missing here, and it's because it's being blocked by that arm. So pulling that elbow down a little bit more more, and perhaps even bringing that light around a little bit more to light the front of her just a tad more would help, you know, really improve the overall flow here. And the last little point I want to say is just a little bit more room to breathe on that right hand side, you know, making sure that the body is in the center of the frame and she's just slightly off there. So it does seem well balanced, but just giving a little bit more room to move there on the right hand side would definitely help this image breathe and give us a little bit more in terms of composition.
Thanks, Kelly. Lacey, your writer reply?
I was looking at this more in a totality of how I was reading the story, with the blue being more of in that shadow, and baby typically is living in the spotlight, which is where the orange is really coming through the most, is on that belly, and the blues being on the rest of the face and the body, putting her in that shadow of her baby. So as far as the story, I really feel like the colors are working together, and I'd really love to see just a couple of more points awarded to the photographer for the creativity and the execution in this image.
Thanks, Lacey. Judges, if you could please rescore. Kelly, did yours?
Just reloading my screen. Sorry, it froze.
Yeah, that's okay. And there we are. We have a 78, highly commended. Well done to the photographer. Fantastic debate, and it's been very educational for everyone. Much appreciated. Next image. Thanks, Mel.
The title of this image is Afterglow.
Sorry, Kelly, you might need to hit the reload fix button. It's brilliant software. It works incredibly well, and it's got an on-off button, which is really cool as well. Amazing. Okay, so I'm so glad your internet started working again, Kelly, because we have a 79, highly commended. However, Kelly is going to challenge. She is on 88. Take it away, Kelly.
Come on. This is not something we see in the maternity category very often. And I was reading, sorry, the reason it wasn't my computer glitching there, it was probably me reading the category descriptions here for our scoring ranges. And I was tempted to put this in a very safe scoring range. I'm going to be so transparent with you. I looked at scoring this 80, 81, strong silver, but do you know, I mean, well, silver. But then I thought, you know what? This is highly refined. This is distinctive. This stands out. This is an image I will remember from this category. This image demonstrates strong concept, like the thought process behind capturing this. We're looking at a digital image as well. So, you know, what we're sort of seeing here is so much tonality in terms of those beautiful warm, you know, tones in the bottom of the right hand side that lead you up into that dark sky. This is a beautiful quiet moment that I feel like we're kind of like spying on. So there's a romance to this. There's beautiful composition with the placement of the subject in the middle of the frame, but in the bottom third there. So it's a really bold choice to kind of fill the top of this frame with just sky, which tells me, you know what? There's so much to look forward to. You know, the sky is the limit when it comes to having a baby, and you know, and the dreams and the possibilities that you've got with that. So I've gone on a little bit of a journey here, and I really want to encourage my fellow judges to come with me on this. This is unique, this is different, and it really stands out, and I think it's really strong.
Thanks, Kelly. All right, Lacey, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I was a safe scorer, and I'm really glad you challenged this, Kelly. There were a couple of things that made me feel comfortable staying in that safe scoring range, and one of the things was the banding in the sky. It's something that can really easily be fixed in that post processing, and the cropping. I love the expansiveness of that. It was the right side of the frame that I didn't really know how to feel about it, because it just kind of falls off into a lot of darkness, and we have this really beautiful color over here on the left. And so I guess I was really just kind of wanting to see that matchy for that consistency, but I could probably be very easily swayed. So I am definitely listening, because this is a very creative and beautiful image. And where the heck is this photographer standing? This is amazing.
All righty. So interestingly, I haven't got anyone else to put their hand up to comment, but Mark, we haven't heard from you for a little while.
Yeah, I'm enjoying Kelly going on her little storyline. In terms of the image, it's from a silver distinction point of view, it's showing originality, pregnancy, yes, originality, image. We've seen it a gazillion times before of that silhouette scenario. But in terms of, I can just imagine the photographer either on the phone or calling through an earpiece, like a little bit left, turn your arm up, down, just to get the shadow. So I can appreciate the technicality of the pose and being well seen and going, hey, let's do something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. But in terms of originality, of the actual style of image, I'm happy to sneak into a sneaky silver, but I'm with Lacey in the crop. Love the sky's the limit with the afterglow, but I think it would be more dynamic and a little bit more like engulfing, if that's a word, if it was cropped as a pano instead to really draw you in there.
All righty. Thank you, Mark. All right, Kelly. Sounds like you might be getting some sneaky silvers coming over. Bring it home.
Yeah, I love this conversation. And you know what? I can appreciate the safeness of the scoring range that we've got here. But when we think about, you know, bringing a baby into this world, in today's world, it's a big, noisy world, but yet they're celebrating this beautiful, quiet moment. And I am at 88. I'm not in gold, and I totally would have gone there because of that banding that you mentioned, Lacey. But that's why it sits really well for me in that silver with distinction scoring range, because there's story, there's creativity, there's impact, there's thought behind this, not just from the perspective of the story that we're reading for the couple, but the thought process for the photographer to choose this location and to be bold enough to present us with a composition that is slightly uncomfortable to look at. But we live in an uncomfortable world. So embrace that with me in silver distinction. Come on, guys. I know you got it in you.
All righty. So, Kelly, you hold your score. Everybody else, rescore. And we have a very solid silver at 83. Congratulations to the photographer. I think you've got a bit of a fan there in Kelly Brown as well. So well done. It's pretty cool to get some recognition from one of the world's finest maternity photographers. So congratulations all around. We will have a quick judge change. Thank you, Kelly. You can have a little break. And Faru, we welcome you back to the panel. We'll go to our next image. Thanks, Mel.
Okay, this image is titled Woman's Curves.
Alrighty, so we have a very lovely range of scores. At the moment, this image is scoring 78 and is highly commended. And we have two judges who would like to challenge that score, but I'm going to take Mark as our primary challenger, who is on 87. Alrighty, Mark, take it away.
Yeah. Okay, in terms of originality, doing a drone shot of a pregnancy image is pretty bold, but also having the foresight to be on the ground, to then put up a drone, to then see the shape of the rocks, and then go, hey, if I put a pregnancy lady in that rock that also mimics the shape of a belly at the same time, like, that's pretty well seen. Like, you can't see that unless you knew that that was there. It's not by chance. Like, that is like, this photographer knew this location or it was just really lucky. The only thing that's holding me back from going gold is the actual refining of the pose of the lady. That is the one thing that is kind of like, it's hard enough to capture, to kind of direct the shot, but just the pose is the only part from me not going further. But in terms of the well seen and the placement and the mimicking of the body shape and the mimicking of the rock and that little rock formation on the right hand side, if you've seen that latest movie, Hail Mary, it looks like Rocky. Maybe it's kind of like looking at her. I'll enjoy this image quite a lot, and I think this photographer's done really well to see it from a very far distance.
Amazing. Thank you, Mark. Okay, so at the other end, we have got Amber. What are you thinking? Oh, you might need to unmute. Thank you.
Sorry. I really love your passion, Mark. I scored this image a 71. I really appreciate the originality of a drone photo in the maternity category. But I just feel like the photographer hasn't nailed this image. As a drone photo, and the shapes of the landscape, I really love it. But the actual woman, I think she's really overexposed. Her skin tones are they need a lot of work. To me, she just really contrasts against the landscape, and she doesn't sort of tonally fit in with the rest of the image. And just the hot highlight on her arm there and the way that she's posed all feels very uncomfortable to me. So I'm really struggling. Sorry.
That's all right. Mark, you definitely have support with Naomi. So sorry, no, not with Naomi, with Lacey. Lacey's in support. All right, Lacey, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I am sitting in that silver range, and it's for all of the reasons that Amber was mentioning that I didn't go too much higher for that. I think this is a very well seen image, but yeah, I don't really have too much more to add without rehashing other comments. So, but yes, I am listening, Mark, to get up into that silver distinction.
Awesome. All right, Mark, you got your short and sweet writer reply. Go for it.
Short and sweet is let's get into that sneaky silver. Let's just bring up a few extra points to commend the photographer to see something that's well seen and to place it into an award setting. Amber, I'm with you with those other little comments that you said. In terms of the day, the sunlight is just shining right up against her. So if the photographer has this opportunity to redo this, take these comments back on board and refine it. And I think that you can continue creating amazing work.
Awesome. Judges, please rescore. Oh, and we are on 79, right at the top of the highly commended range. Thank you, Mark, for your passionate debate there. Really, really love it. And I'm sure the photographer super appreciates it as well. We'll go to our next image, please.
Okay, the title of this image is The Quiet Promise.
Alrighty, so judges are pretty close in their scoring range. We have a 78, highly commended. And if we're all happy with that, oh, no, we've got a challenge. All right, Naomi is in the silver range at 82. Go for it, Naomi.
This is such a beautiful, simple silhouette. There's absolute gorgeous strength in the story, the connection with her. The horse is obviously a very, very important part of this mum-to-be's life. I think that there's a delicateness and a warmth in it. And even though the colours are so strong, I think that what that actually really symbolises is perhaps the bond with her and her horse, and also with her and her unborn baby. I think that there's definitely a few refinements that could bring it up higher, paying attention to the wispy little bits of her hair at the top of her head, a little bit distracting, and what is possibly either a hair tie or something, the back of her hair. So I think definitely paying attention to some little details and that like that, which really, really do stand out, particularly when you have a really refined silhouette like this. Lots of those little details really do jump out at you. So I'm not asking to go up very far, but I think that this is definitely deserving of being in a silver.
All right, Fru, quick comment from you. You're on the lower end.
Yeah, I am still in highly commended, which is I gave it because of the cinematic feeling to it, because of the bond, because of the title is there is a mysterious and there is a proud moment, there is a promise moment to it. So I gave it highly commended 75. I wanted to go higher, if when the sky tone it down, it doesn't create so much halo all around it. And maternity is sitting in open in post-production, which means we can do lots of little refinement around the subject, the horse, the background to create a very neat and beautiful and silhouette image here and enhance the story. There's so much detail. Actually, it's bothering me. And also there is a chromatic aberration happen in the background as well. Yeah, I'm listening, Naomi.
No worries. Naomi, you're a little bit out on a limb here, but what have you got for your right to reply?
I think that this photographer really just needs to be rewarded for creating a scene that tells a beautiful story. They've used beautiful, strong colors. Silhouettes are really, really hard with that detail and things like that. So I can totally see where it could definitely be improved in those areas where Farouz mentioned that too. So I'm not asking for very much, but I think that we do need to reward this photographer for doing something quite bold and adventurous like this.
Alrighty, judges, please rescore. Oh, your passionate debate has earned us another point. We're on 79, highly commended. But Naomi, that person, they're sitting at home and they're just like, woo, Naomi loves my image. And you've encouraged them in ways you'll probably never know. So well done. Go to our next image. Thank you so much.
Okay, this image has no title.
Alrighty then, this image has scored an 82 silver award. However, we have a challenge from Mark. Excellent, Mark. You are on 86. I am looking forward to hearing your debate. Take it away.
No, I'm looking forward to telling it as well. This is a really simplified black and white that's been handled really exquisitely. Now, before it's like you've lost detail this or you lost detail this, I wanted to kind of go in and make sure. And going from the hair all the way down the back, you can see all that control. The control that the photographer has with the dark hair on a dark background and still being able to see every part of it, you get a big tick. The materials that are coming through, there's nothing hot, there's nothing bright, there's nothing that I'm kind of like, oh, they've kind of retouched it or there's a shadowing issue. So from a technical point of view, there's another tick. The expression itself is just soft. It's so dreamy. It's so whispery, and the black and white treatment suits the style exceptionally well. And there's enough a belly being shown. The hands are soft enough. The expression is soft enough. The eyes are closed. The lighting is falling beautifully from top to bottom. I think they've nailed it. 86. Let's do this.
Awesome. Amber, you're right on average. What would you like to add?
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for challenging this image. I scored this image originally an 82, and I am going to come up to silver distinction with you this time. I just really appreciate having a little bit longer to sit with this image, and I love all of those things that you've just mentioned on the technical front. But I think the thing that's really coming out to me now is I believe this woman. I feel like she is really in the moment, and she is really like in her body, and I just think she's got a really believable sense of calm about her, and it really emanates from her. And the more I look at it, the longer I look at it, the more I love it.
Okay, sometimes that can happen. An image can grow on you over time. It is one of those things visually. And I've got all our judges doing this. I don't have anyone that's sort of putting their hand up to give too much negative feedback or criticism or anything along those lines. So, Mark, I think it's actually back to you, mate.
Yeah, come on now. She's on cloud nine. She's on a cloud. That beautiful placement of the outfit. She's just floating beautifully. And I think that's why, Amber, you have that sense of peace and calm, because she is literally like, you can feel that she's taken a breath and then the photo's been taken, and it's really calming. I'm on 86, silver distinction. Come and join me.
Thank you, judges. Mark, hold your score, and everyone else, please rescore. And just like that, we have an 86 silver distinction. Congratulations to the photographer. It is extraordinary how sometimes when you just sit with an image for that little bit longer, it all just kind of comes together. Absolutely wonderful. Well done, Mark. We're going to do a quick judge change. Thanks, Lacey. You can have a little break, and we will welcome back Katrina. We'll go to our next image. Thanks, Mel.
The title of this image is Beautiful Bump.
And this image has scored a 74. Very close scoring range. Katrina, thank you. Comment would be lovely.
Yeah, I was bang on the final score here. This could really benefit from being cropped in tighter. Let's really focus on that bump and the connection of the hands there, because what's going on there is actually really quite lovely. So yeah, have a look at your crop and bring it in. Bring our focus in on what you want us to look at, rather than being pulled away with the tattoos and sort of extraneous detail.
Great feedback. Thank you so much. Go to our next image, please, Mel.
Okay, this image is titled Her Body, Their Rules.
Alrighty, this image has scored a 79 with very close scoring range from all of our judges. However, we have a challenge from Katrina. So even though she's only sort of just peeking over into that next range, she is in the silver range. So Katrina, by all means, take it away.
Yeah, let's have a talk about it. And I am determined to, if I put it there, I think I should always back it. So let's talk about it, please. This image has immediate impact. I haven't seen this particular narrative presented in this way before, so I'm really appreciating that aspect. It's giving me sort of Handmaid's Tale vibes as well. I think it's got some really interesting narrative detail. So obviously, sort of the red tape, she's being pulled away, she's trying to fight against it, she's being gagged, she's obviously got an expression that's, there's distress there. I can't quite tell if there's a tear in there on that right eye or not, but certainly that's obviously part of the emotion that we're being welcomed into feeling for this woman. It is very clean, it's very striking, it's technically very well handled. Not asking for silver with distinction, not asking with gold, just a silver, and I think it is absolutely well and truly worthy of that. And if not, yeah, please help me understand and why.
No worries at all. The other end, we've got Faru on 78.
The reason I think this image is created a bit contrast, and that's hold me back to bring it up to silver. When I saw it, when I heard the title by itself, the concept by itself is very strong, it's very moving, and that's I pull, I just drawn to the image, but then I hold back because first thing I noticed that the body language by itself is very muted. The expression is there in the eyes, but the body is so soft. The lighting is so flat, especially around the body again. And she's very neat, very style, and it's a big contrast with the title and the concept. But I'm listening here, Katrina.
Yeah, look, Katrina, you definitely have support. Amber, you are in the silver range as well.
I am also in the silver range, and I think when we look at the award description for silver, strong and creative image with clear strengths in concept, techniques, or impact, I think it really fits into that awards range. It is a very technically well-crafted image, and I think that all of those elements that are in there are, you know, it's communicating the narrative, and I got the Handmaid's Tale vibe as well. I just think it's a worth a silver. We're not far away, guys. Come up.
All right, Katrina, you're right to reply.
Yeah, look, absolutely. With a silver image, we're looking for clear strengths in either concept, technique, or impact. And I think this covers actually all three quite comfortably. Yeah, for me, it's unequivocally a silver at the very least. I thought I was actually a bit shy, to be honest. And for me, I'm reading this image. It's a satire. It's satirical. It's pointing out societal flaws. It's not meant to be literal. It's an expression, and obviously the image and the content paired with her body, their rules. This image is making a statement, and I think that, you know, that sort of intelligence, that sophistication paired with how well it's been, you know, put together, crafted, technically handled. Come on, guys, you cannot tell me this is not a silver. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Katrina. Very, very eloquent and beautifully spoken. Judges, please rescore. And just like that, we have a silver at 81. Well done to photographer, and thank you for our judges working as a team so beautifully. Well done. We'll go to our next image. Thanks, Mel.
Okay, this image has no title.
And this image has scored a 78, highly commended. And Katrina, excellent on 82, silver award. You do have support. Naomi's also put her hand up. Katrina was just slightly faster, Naomi. Katrina, you can take the challenge. Go for it.
Thanks, Robin. Sorry, Naomi. I was, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it together. Come on. Yeah, for me, this is a silver. I'm really, really appreciating the more sort of organic, natural presentation, subject, content, pose here. It's not heavily perfectly posed, but there's still clearly some refinement, some intent that's gone into it as well. You know, she's a beautiful subject. You know, she's closing her eyes, she's in the moment, but she's a normal, very relatable woman. I'm loving the stretch marks on her stomach. Again, something that is often, retouched out. We're trying to hide away. We're trying to make these sort of idealistic presentations of women and maternity and what have you. So, yeah, I think that is really strong. And then I'm also just generally really enjoying the circular, interesting sort of presentation and crop that we've been given. Beautiful black and white conversion. The light is on her face, creating some form and contour there. It's the brightest part. Yeah, again, for me, this is a clear silver, strong creative image, clear strength in concept, technique, and again, for me, impact.
Thanks, Katrina. I don't have any other judges sort of putting their hands up just yet, so I'll call on you, Mark. What have you got?
Yes, I appreciate everything you said, Katrina. I'm really distracted by the digital mat of whatever the photographer's done. The two white lines on top and then the circle, it's not a circle, it's an arch, is just throwing me off completely. If they weren't a part of it, you can have a different story. But they're just so what's the point? What's the purpose? Where's it coming into play? That's just distracted me completely. In terms of the pose, it's a little bit more organic. It's nice, but I just don't think it's as flattering as what it could be in the same feeling with just a few movements of changing the position to not to, lift the chin a little bit so you don't have that and then you're going to go, well, that's raw because the belly's raw and they've got it's just how she is. But at the same time, just a refinement would have been nice. But the digital mat is completely throwing me off. I'm so distracted by it.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Naomi, you're up there in the silver range as well, and I know you've got a solid background in graphic design and so forth. Perhaps you can give us some feedback on that.
Yeah, look, hey, Mark, I think that I can offer some insight as to the digital frame. I think that it's actually emulating the feeling of being in the womb. I think that it's creating this beautiful balance between a story between the inside and the outside. Graphically, yeah, this is really, really strong. It's got beautiful negative space. And the subject has been, she's been thoughtfully directed. While it's still quite raw and it's honest and it's actually got a really genuine feel to it. And I think that the way that it's been presented, the black and white is a beautiful, beautiful, strong way to present this image. And I think that it's actually very gently understated in a very raw fashion. And I think it's absolutely worthy of silver.
All right, Katrina, sounds like it's up to you. Bring it home.
Yeah, I completely agree with Naomi and beautifully spoken. I also sort of read the digital map mark as sort of two crescent moons, two worlds coming together, or just about to, they're not joined either. And I think that rather than just being a random complete circle, I think that has some communication, built in with it as well. These two, they're just about to meet. And in terms of flattering, that's subjective, right? Because to whose standards is this not flattering? Societies, right? Generally, but to me, this is extremely flattering. If this was me, or particularly if this was my mother, wow, boy, would I love to see something like that. I think it's stunning. And again, guys, we're asking for silver. We're not asking for anything more than that. And again, it is well and truly competent in more than one of those factors. So concept, technique, impact. Would you please consider coming up to silver?
Thank you, judges. Please rescore. And just like that, we have a silver award at 80. Congratulations as a team. I'm incredibly impressed at how well you all work together and so respectful as well. So thank you. And that was our final image in the maternity category. So well done to all of our entrants. There were some brilliant images in there, and congratulations to everyone that saw their images come up today, and they can walk away with some incredible knowledge as well. Huge thank you to our judges. It was really, really great to hear you bringing your experience and your passion to this process, and there certainly was a lot of passion. Amber Griffin, Faru Yavari, Katrina Ferguson, Kelly Brown, Lacey Barrett, Mark Rosetto, Naomi Rader. You guys are amazing. And thank you to our online audience for tuning in and celebrating with us incredible photography. Joining us for our next live judging. And don't forget to tune in for our awards ceremony. It's going to be on Thursday, the 13th of August. And that's when you get to see who our winners are. Thanks so much, everyone. We will see you soon.
Wow, photographing the way I do, but with my colors, this will change everything.
I got to see each frame, each position of its wing, and they're so beautiful that I have never seen before.
Being able to move quickly and working at my brain's pace and getting those shots in the moment. Having this camera allows you to go out and create the way you want to create.
Until you use it, you cannot even imagine what you have missed.
It's something I've never seen before in my entire life. It's something totally different.
Nikon Z6 III. Outperform.
Introducing ISO Color Edge. Precision is essential for any professional working with images. Whether you're an artist, a retoucher, or a visual effects specialist, you need to know that what you see at the start of a project is precisely what you'll get at the end. Color Edge monitors give consistent, reliable accuracy that guarantee no surprises within your color workflow. So what you see in real life is what you see on screen, and what you see on screen is what you see in real life. That's precisely why professionals all over the world trust ISO Color Edge for their image creation. ISO Color Edge. Discover living, breathing color.
I'm Mark Rizzetto from the Professional Photography Business Network.
A vibrant community from all around the world who's here to supercharge your business growth.
This is not an expensive one-size-fits-all course.
The PPBN is a network,
An online educational platform with training and resources to suit everyone.
from those just starting out to the seasoned pros.
You can tailor your journey to suit your individual business needs and challenges, all at your own pace.
And there's new content added every week. But success is only part of the experience.
To us, community is super important as we all know business can be lonely.
So join us today. PPBN is your unfair advantage. Let's do this.